welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and this video is all about my Jaguar XJ Coupe V12, which sits over there, and a lot of you have noticed it hasn't been around for the last few videos, even though during the Christmas roundup I changed those injectors and we had a eureka moment when it ran on 12 cylinders. Unfortunately, that didn't last. I took it for a few drives and it would start on 12 when you'd set off, and then it would go down, did its usual thing of going to 11 and 10 cylinders and lower, and it was plainly obvious this was not the injectors. These were a new type of injectors. They worked absolutely fine. This was other random things happening. Very frustrating, to say the least. It was already booked in to have a new exhaust created for it. I wanted to raise the exhaust and I wanted to have a cross pipe fitted to just enhance the sound it was made. So it went down to Fast Road Conversions in Ashford. They did a fantastic job of doing the exhaust. It then went off to Tom Lenthalls, who just wanted to investigate, and he said, Harry, no point going any further with this engine setup. You're gonna have to have the conversion that I do, that basically is different manifolds, etc. And after all the grief, it's been a year now, I just had enough. So what I'm going to do now is take you down to the workshop, and we'll join Tom and he'll go through everything that's going to happen with that car, and then it will come back as a proper V12 usable Jaguar XJ Coupe, and I cannot wait. Hello, Tom.
Hi, Harry. How are we doing?
All right, thank you. I'm back. It's back as well.
Yes, it's back. Yeah, indeed. Yes.
I don't know. Well, yeah, you did say right at the beginning that you didn't want to fit
did
all
I?
this. I think you did. Several times. Says, do not go ahead with the standard setup. And where are we now? It was so frustrating because I thought we'd cracked it with those new injectors, but all it did was just highlight a whole load of other issues, isn't it? It's
unfortunately, it's the experience that I've had with the standard injectors. Well, not even standard injectors, that's not fair. The standard system.
Yeah.
You cure one problem, you then chase another, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on until you get
to this point.
Until your head explodes and you go, right, okay, let's do something that's actually going to work, which is hence why I ended up doing this some years ago.
Yeah.
And I keep coming back to it.
And you've done no end of them now, haven't you? This
we've done quite a few, yeah. So.
Well, it's so frustrating because the engine was terrific. The great thing is sort of run in now. The car behaves, the handling's fantastic. It's just, I can't trust it to stay on 12 cylinders all the time. But yeah, things have actually changed under here already, haven't they? You've been quite busy.
We've already done quite a lot of work. So the original inlet manifold setup's been removed. The radiator's been removed so that we can get the front crankshaft pulley off. And then what we've done so far underneath here, the main things we've done underneath here is we've removed the distributor and fitted a blanking plate, so that covers that hole in. The coil packs.
This is all new here, isn't it?
So we don't run a distributor, you know, less moving parts the better as far as I'm concerned in this respect. So we have coil packs. So we have a bespoke mounting plate that we've had made, and the coil packs go down in there. We've had to have the HT leads made. And then this, you know, so then this is your old wiring for engine management, which dives off into the car, so that'll all be going.
Yeah. Oh no, this is all my new wiring loom, my old new, but I'm all beautifully wrapped. That's all going.
Yeah. We don't use any of that.
Oh really?
Yeah, that all goes.
We waited, I don't know, about 10 months during lockdown for them to make that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm sure it'll go to a good new home somewhere.
eBay
hopefully.
Is going to be very busy of bits coming up, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
So. Then we'll put the new manifolds down, and I've got a couple of other minor jobs I want to do as we're working through it. You may recall we had a bit of a drip on the coolant rails.
Yeah, tiny bit.
Yeah, which is really frustrating, and we can't get decent seals for it, so we're going to take those seals out and we're going to weld in some fittings so that we cure that problem as well.
That's sort of part of why I've driven down here. The remade replacement parts, in general, just aren't up to standard quite often, aren't they? It just drives you nuts.
That's a good point, but see, these are all new remade parts for the modern system, and they work perfectly fine. So they're, you know, a lot of those parts that we're putting on this new system, you know, they're still made in the same factories as the recreation parts for the old system. Yeah.
Well, hang on, but that isn't. Was that Jaguar fitted to Jaguar like this? No, that's new, isn't it? That's
that's new. That is actually a Ford V6 coil pack.
Oh, two.
Yeah, so it's what you call a wasted spark system.
I see. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so, but you know, they're not genuine 4 parts or this, that and the other. I can't actually remember what make they are, you know,
Right.
you know, but what I'm saying, but the point I'm making is there's less moving parts and the technology is better. So trying to reproduce old fuel injection technology is a bit hit and miss, in my experience, particularly with Jag stuff.
Well, this was flaky in the beginning, wasn't it?
They didn't call, you know, it got nicknamed the hopeless system, you know, from day one. It was no good from day one.
Right.
Or it's problematic from day one. You know, it was never the most reliable.
There were days when it worked.
Exactly, yeah. And you know, and I have got customers with these cars running on this fuel injection system original, and it's absolutely fine.
It's so frustrating.
And I turned around to them and said, the day that it breaks and the day that it stops working, you know, the chances of me repairing it successfully and it being really reliable are very slim. You know, which is experience
exactly.
Yours worked fine.
Yeah, when this was a shed, it worked absolutely fine.
Took in all the bits, put it back together,
and it's this.
Yeah, and that's a really common thing to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it does look beautiful, this engine, I have to say. Even, you know, it's lovely to see it like that, and the tubular manifold and stuff. Right, let's go and have a look then what you're exactly doing. What's this doing here? Supercharged straight 6.
This is a 96 supercharged engine.
Yes.
Which was actually, it came out of a car that was being dismantled for braking or whatever, and I didn't pay an awful lot of money for it.
I'm not surprised looking at it.
Yeah, but they're actually it's a very cheap engine to buy to get sort of like mid 300 horsepower quite easily.
Right.
And good torque, and there's a manual gearbox which goes on the back of it very easily.
Okay.
So I thought it would be a really nice thing to drop into a coupe.
Oh, a coupe, not a V12 then? Well,
I've got a very nice
jealous
V12
of that
coupe.
one. That Lister one.
I've got a Lister V12 coupe, so and I just fancy doing a resto mod, or not a big massive project, but just a mechanical project. So so the idea is that's going in this coupe that I've just bought.
Yeah.
So
we'll look out for that.
We're going to rebuild it and refresh it and make it look a lot prettier than that, obviously.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all to come.
This is my rejected, unfortunately. This is what I was trying to preserve, because this is beautifully engineered in period inlet manifold for my thing, and we put the new injectors in, but it has bigger throttle bodies, and it's got those trumpets behind it. So this is the reason why I've gone through a world of pain to try and preserve, but I didn't know about the injector issues and all the other issues that come with using this system.
No one could turn around and say that you haven't put the effort in to try and keep it going. You know, you've done new injectors, we had a new trigger board, there's lots of other bits and pieces that you've done to try and keep this system going, but it just keeps on, you know.
I know.
We probably could fix it and move on to the next bit, and then I think it will let you down again, and that's the problem, is you're chasing unreliability.
I've had enough. I've absolutely had enough. Of doing this system, but
it's tried your patience, and
it has.
It's got the better of you. In that respect.
Well, I know now it's not the injectors, because those injectors are revised new work fine. And the thing was, it was so frustrating, wasn't it? Because we could rev it, or just stand
sound
static.
beautiful on 12,
absolutely beautiful. You set it off, and you think, I think that's missing. And I've been on longer runs with it, and it will suddenly go to 9 and 8 cylinders and really pop and bang. You think, I'm not going to get home. Turn it off and turn it back on, and suddenly I think it's on 11. I've just had enough of it, which is doing what you wanted me to do all along, which is here, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the stuff that I sort of tentatively suggested on the day one, I think, wasn't it?
I think there was daily phone calls. Don't fit the old system, Harry. Put this on.
I may have mentioned it once or twice. So this is 6-litre XJ manifold.
Right.
Late XJS X300 manifold is what that is.
Yeah.
So it's got uprated or much more modern injectors in it. So albeit those injectors are from the 90s,
right.
They're very easy to clean and repair. So in fact, I've got those ones have all been cleaned and repaired, and they're going to be what's going in this manifold. So the idea was, initially, I said to you, this is going to be the manifold that's going in your car.
Just put it straight on it.
But then, of course, it's not as straightforward as that, because it's your car, obviously. That original type manifold that you were trying to preserve had larger throttle bodies on it.
Yeah, it's a AJ6 Engineering, isn't it?
AJ6 Engineering,
Yeah.
Roger Bywater. He would get these enlarged, made bigger,
Yeah.
and then he would modify your ECU accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then he'd obviously modify the rest of the inlet manifold.
Yeah. Well, I thought it really made sense, and we've just measured those, haven't we? You've got
Yeah.
the measure there.
So we just measured the bore here.
Yeah.
That was 73.5 mil.
Yeah.
Okay, the original manifold, we thought we'd measure that, and that's like 71 or something
71,
like that.
yeah.
But
The
of course, and I
throttle-
wasn't thinking right. The
Yeah.
real measurement that we really need to know is what's the diameter of an original throttle
Yeah.
body, and that was 63 mil.
It was 63, and that one was
73.
something. It's 35% more gas flow
Yeah.
through this system, and that's why I was very keen. And there's an air cleaner somewhere, isn't there? That's different
yeah.
as well. That's here, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other bit I liked about it, because
it's
then
got the twin pipes on
twin
it.
pipes on it. So this is all part of this tuning on this car when I bought it, and it all works very well.
And this was a new air filter that's got the telltale signs of a spirited driver, Harry. Because there's
surely.
Yeah.
Well, my son drives it a lot.
Does it? Do you think that what it
yeah,
is? Do you think we
I
need to have a word with
have
Charlie
a-
about
why,
this?
how can you tell what's been going
Well,
on?
just because, although even though it's a fresh engine, you can tell on the near side, because this is the near side one where the
Right.
breather goes to. There's a little bit of only a little dribble of oil, but on a fresh engine, you've got to drive it quite hard
to get it to do that.
To get it to do that,
really?
Yeah.
Well, when I get home, I'm going to see what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's
you'll have to
not
have a
on.
word with him. I clearly
There's a
wasn't
way-
yourself.
Yeah, no, never do such things. But so I'm really chuffed. I didn't realise it was that much bigger. Actually,
It's quite a big difference. Yeah.
So that's good.
So anyway, I've had these machines, so they got all matching ports
To match the bigger. These being bigger.
Yeah, that's
bigger
it.
end
Yeah,
of it.
so these have been. So you can see there's just tiny little marks in
That's
there.
a
So
stack- is
one
that
for
the
one
same
manifold, one for the
Let's
other.
just have a look at those together.
Yeah,
there is quite a difference, isn't there?
yeah, it's considerable.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Good. Right. So
this is now going to be your new manifold. I had it all machined. We've got all the parts here. I've got all the plated bits. I've got all the powder coated stuff.
yeah.
I've got freshly cleaned and overhauled injectors. I just need a little bit of time to put it back together. In fact, I know I've got, as usual, I've got everything. That's all the plated bits.
All to go on.
Yeah. So everything.
There's always stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the Tantalo, because I put those new injectors over Christmas, New Year period, and then you'd already booked it in to have the exhaust done, and
Yeah.
fast road conversions, wasn't it, at Ashford?
Yeah.
Fantastic system, wasn't it? They did a brilliant job.
They're a bit of a trek to go to, but I've been using them for quite a while now, and I'm always very, very pleased with what they do for me. So they've done the listers before and all that sort of stuff.
So they knew it, but you're having now with this new system.
Yeah.
Got one of these. That's very modern.
Yeah. So an amber sensor.
Yeah.
So obviously we want to measure the fueling and see what's coming out of the exhaust and make sure that we've got the right amount going in. And so part of the new engine management system, the new standalone engine management system, is Lambda sensors and lots of other sensors.
Yeah, and an Emerald ECU, which I think is sitting over there.
Yeah. I was going to bring this with me because this is always interesting. So
sorry, this bit as well. This is the trigger bit we've got to do as well, isn't it? It's front pulley.
Okay, yeah, sorry. This is your old crankshaft pulley there, which is off the car and taken to bits. And you can see they come in two halves.
Oh, okay.
And then what we do is we machine, that will actually come to bits. We machine it and then insert the trigger wheel, and then it's all doweled so it can only go in one place, and then we have a sensor there and it all goes back onto the front of the crank, and that's how we do it.
And previously, the injection sort of worked off this trigger board inside of the distributor.
Correct, yeah. So that was
tricky.
But that only had two switches on it.
Yeah.
So that would you would fire the injectors in banks of six at a
Whatever
time.
was going on.
Opposite.
Really?
Yeah, it would fire those three, then those three on each bank.
While this will fire them individually when needed.
Correct, yeah. Exactly, so you don't have wasted.
That's mad, isn't it? Oh, well, fuel consumption is very important to me.
This is why on that you'll probably get, depending how you're driving,
or
depending who's driving,
yeah.
sorry, yeah, of course. I don't know, sort of 12 to 15, something like that. When we go to the new system and we can control the fueling better, we've got customers, 20 to 25 to the gallon. on steady, steady driving.
With me driving,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Good.
So, I should imagine you'll be back up to at least 5 or 6 of the gallon, I'm sure, something like that,
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll try and challenge it. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. Anyway, let's have a look over in this corner.
Right, so this is the wiring stroke electronics. So let's start with the brain, ECU.
Yeah. Emerald. Which I know very well.
Yeah, you've had an Emerald system on one of your cars before.
Yeah, Lotus 340R. It transformed it, absolutely transformed it. We did a rolling road session with them. They're up near, I don't know.
Not near Snetterton, up that
Snetterton,
way.
that's
that
it.
way, Norfolk.
Took the 340R, rolling roaded, and it was much sweeter, and it actually did a lot more to the gallon. It was always over fueling, and it just wasn't happy. And then this just transformed it, as I say.
So they did a 6-cylinder E-type kit some time ago, and they've been doing ECUs for a long time. And there's this sort of like quite a debate actually in the industry between friends that I have. The Emerald are considered the not the most sophisticated of ECUs. Right. And there is an argument that that's true, but I actually think, hold on a minute. What are we trying to? We're trying to get a classic car working. We're not trying to. We're not trying to win a race. So I wouldn't put that ECU necessarily in my race car. No. But I've got it in my classic cars, and it's perfect. It's lovely.
Yeah.
So anyway, they do kits for V12s and stuff like this. When I say a kit, it doesn't come through and you just go, oh god, great. I'll just bolt this in. There's a little bit more to it than that.
Right.
So like the wiring looms turn up like this.
Right. Gosh.
So this particular loom here, this is the one that
scary.
Yeah, it's like everything, isn't it? That's the plug that goes on the ECU.
Right.
This is the wiring that goes inside the car for powers, earths and stuff. Fuse box, lambda sensor wiring, and this is all the wiring that goes underneath the bonnet for your sensors. Coil pack wiring, and this is injector wiring.
So what, sorry, just a layman, what triggers the injectors to spark? The Emerald ECU does?
Yeah, okay.
So that's all that in that plug is, because you've got 12.
So when you get this from Emerald, this all comes loose. We have to make all of this. So you don't get all of the electrical connectors, you don't get this, you don't get that. There's certain things you do get, but all the wires are bare, we have to assemble all of that, we have to make this. God. So there's quite a bit to it. The only thing that comes wired up is that plug. The plug into the ECU. That is it. Right. Everything else is done. And then we have sensors.
Right.
So that's air intake temperature sensor. So that's going to go into the air filter.
Right.
This is the one. Right. That's absolute manifold pressure. So this is. Look. There's your original one.
The original one that used to
from
sit
Lucas.
at the top.
Yeah. So how things have changed.
Yeah. And they fail, don't they? And
they have a real. So inside there's a diaphragm, and we have to put a vacuum gauge on it to test the diaphragm. It's really common for the diaphragms to split. Again, it's where do I go and find a new diaphragm for a 45, 50-year-old absolute manifold pressure sensor? You don't.
You can't.
And people don't remake them, understandably so, because the demand isn't that high. So when they're done. They go in the bin. And there was a point when we were collecting them, and God, this one works.
Right.
Wow. So get excited about it.
Right.
So what else we've got? Crankshaft position sensor. So that's what sits and runs off of the trigger wheel.
Yeah.
Coolant temperature sensor. And then that's your rev counter driver. So,
where's that going to go? The ECU?
ECU is going to go inside the car.
Is it? Well, hang on. Before you go there, isn't there one? There's one already.
Yeah. So the original ECU is loose here in the boot now.
Right.
And that would ordinarily be bolted up to the back of the bulkhead.
Right. Okay.
So this is one of the. So that's the one that's got that's coming out. The only reason we haven't taken it out yet, because, and the reason we've still got the loom inside the car, is the loom goes right the way through the car.
Yes.
So I've got to start at some point. I've got to rip a lot of interior bits out of the way so I can get the loom out. Although some people have said to me, don't bother, just leave all the loom in. But then you've got lots of wires and stuff hanging around all over the place, and you know. I do give one option for leaving the loom in and one option for taking it out, because it's such a time differential.
Well, there must be, isn't there? Well, the This must cost a bit, mustn't it? Because there's quite a lot of componentry. There's more componentry than I realised.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, depending on what car we're doing it on, one of these you're looking at around about £10,000 to £12,000 plus VAT.
Right.
If I'm doing an E-Type, it's not so complicated, but then I've only got, then I have to do fuel pumps and stuff like that. The beauty of this system is I can use your original fuel pumps because this is and it's already got a fuel return, so I haven't got to change fuel tanks, I haven't got to do this, I haven't got to do that.
Right.
Whereas if I'm doing an E-Type, particularly a straight six, I've got to get the fuel back to the tank. There's more complicated stuff involved. But as a general rule, most cars between £10,000 and £12,000 plus the VAT.
Wow.
So it's not a cheap thing.
No, I know. Rather wish I'd done it at the beginning and it would have been a bit cheaper. But as I say, eBay is going to be my new friend for all sorts of bits. And I'm going to try and get some money back for all, there's brand new injectors, there's that really good distributor that's brand new and perfect. Yeah, you got a nice tuned manifold which can suit someone, etc. You got a lot of parts there which are still very, very, very usable to the right person. Yeah. Good. So, stage from here then, you're going to continue this, build it all up. Yep. And then I think you set it up, don't you, on a rolling road? Yeah, so I'll get my laptop out. We have a base map, so it's effectively a startup, what we call a startup map. We'll get the engine running and started, make sure that we've got no coolant leaks, no fuel leaks, all that sort of stuff, because there's no point going to the rolling road if you're not fluid tight. And then, and then we'll just stick it on the rollers and, my mate John will work his magic and, get the best out of it. Yeah, I suppose I ought to come down and see how that all goes. And, what are we going to get out of this car? What do you think? I don't know. I'm going to say we did a coupe pretty very, very similar to this not so long ago. And that was on a brand new fresh engine, and he didn't want to overdo it, and we got 288, I think it was, out of that. Right. We did, there's actually a 6-litre XJS just on the other side of the workshop. And that one's got 337, I think it was. Right. So I'm guessing yours is going to be in the middle. So I'd like to see somewhere between 3 and 310 on a good day. We want to get the right side of 300, I suppose, don't we? That's exactly what we want to do. I don't see any problem with that. I think, especially with the throttle bodies and the fact that you've got the tubular manifolds and all that sort of stuff, I'd like to see, I don't think you're going to be 330, 340, but between 3 and 310, great. But I just want 12 cylinders. That's all. You just want it to have 12 cylinders when you start up. I do, and to sound like it does when it's on full 12. All right, Tom. Well, thank you for that. Thanks for the update. I will be back, I suppose, in a few weeks' time. Yeah, excellent. Good. Okay, see you then. Cheers, Harry. Well, there you go. There's the update on the XJ Coupe. It's been quite a journey when you think it was all running about a year ago, and running in was fine. It's only when we really tried to use this car in anger that's when all these issues came up. But I think we've got the solution this time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, well, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming on very soon.